so that right, you can catch up, and if you met a problem you don't understand, you can directly ask me. So that's my advice. Don't look at phone if possible. Just switch off your phone. Switch off your phone. For a few minutes only, for 2 hours only, for P2P session only. Okay. Just turn off your phone. Focus. Try and focus. Okay. Today we are going to look at our FileIO. FileIO is quite important. Not because I want you to learn, so I say it's important, but it's truly important. Because until next semester, you will use FileIO. You will in big trouble if you cannot FileIO, because your assignment is FileIO, your final exam is also FileIO, next semester also FileIO. Wow. And then next semester is also FileIO, so you cannot skip lah. No matter what, you want to fast FileIO. So you might as well listen now, right? You might as well learn now. Okay, so if you got anything you don't understand, then you better can ask us. Okay. Why do we need to store our files? Anybody knows what is the reason we want to save our file? So if we got application, usually when you write an application, right, mostly involved in file, okay? You need to read the file. You need able to read and write something. Most of the application you use nowadays, okay, most of the application, majority will need to use file. You cannot escape it. That's why we need to learn our file. But here comes the question, but why we need to save to a file? Is there a particular reason? Yes, of course. Of course, there's a reason that only we want to solve the problem. Of course, there's a problem that only we want to teach you, right? We want to teach you the solution so that you don't recreate the wheel. Okay. In ancient time, ancient time, not that ancient, okay? Programmer realized one thing. Our RAM, right? Our RAM is very fast, correct? It's very fast in saving and reading and writing data. So fast, faster than your hard disk. Okay, very fast. However, there is a problem about our RAM. Our RAM is actually volatile. What is volatile mean? Okay, I'll tell you what is volatile mean. Volatile, right? Meaning the memory cannot retain the data once the electricity is cut off. Meaning if I switch off my computer, okay, if suddenly black out, hopefully today don't black out. Okay, if black out, right, the RAM is all the data stored in the RAM will get erased. Okay, it's not permanent. It's not permanent. That's why, in order to solve this problem, we need to save the data in the RAM to our file. Okay, to our file. Imagine you have a few variables, right? Imagine you have a few variables. Where do these variables store at? Okay, this variable is actually stored in our RAM. Okay, our RAM, random access memory. Okay, RAM. You heard of 8 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 24 GB RAM, right? Something like this. Something like this. We usually store our variables in the RAM because it's very fast. However, this type of data, right? This type of data is not permanent. Okay, it's not permanent. Including when you are creating an object. Okay, imagine you have an object. Okay, imagine you have an object. When you create an array, you create an object or whatever. Everything is stored in the RAM. Okay, but it's not permanent, I said. It's not permanent. So if you want to process something, okay, you want to process something and save it, most likely you need to learn input and output. Okay, file input and output. Just a background for you. Usually to do a file, all right, we actually request the kernel to do it. The kernel is in your operating system. Okay, example, this Windows 10, right? Windows 10 got on kernel. So the application would request the kernel. Okay, hello kernel, I want to write a file. Can you help me? So the operating system would then say, okay. So he helped me to save the file. Just a little background, extra knowledge for you. So there are three basic steps how to FileIO, file input and output. First, we open the file, and then we read the file, and then say we are processing something, and then we write the data to the file back. Okay, after we write the data, then we need to inform the kernel Colonel, I finished using our file already. Can you help me to close it? And then Colonel will close all, okay? Close is particularly important. Close is particularly important. Close is very important. Why do I say close is important? If you have finished reading the file, right? Okay, example, you open a txt, okay, a text file.
哦，对咯，
If you have
人家
finished reading the txt, if
华
you didn't close it, right?
华人店不是咩？
Other application, okay? Other application cannot modify it, okay? Other application cannot modify it.
对，
So that's why it's very important. You need to
嗯
close the file as soon as possible. Okay, as soon as possible. The protecting mechanism, as a protecting mechanism, the kernel will say, no, other application, you cannot touch this file because our file is being opened by another application. Okay, just a take-home message for you. As usual, take out a paper and pen. Okay, take out a pen and a piece of paper so that you can write down important note. I repeat again, third time already. It's very important. You need to close the file. Okay? Very, 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 very important. Very important. Very important. Need to close the file. Okay? Need to close the file. If you don't close the file, another thing. If you don't close the file, right? Say your operating system is a garbage. Very, very cheap operating system. Say he didn't detect you didn't close this file, right? Then this file is like, it will retain in the memory. It will retain in memory. Can you imagine like if like a lot of file or a lot of application open a lot of file, but a lot of file is not being closed, then it's a problem. It will stay in the memory. Okay. It will raise a few of security issue, a few of security issue and also memory problem. That's why it's very important. Really, really important, very important. You need to close the file. Trust me on this one. You need to close the file as soon as possible. If you write C programming or C++, also the same. After you open the file, right, you must close it as soon as possible. Okay? Don't keep it in memory. Don't keep it in memory. You need to close it. Now we are going to look at what is the Java I/O hierarchy. So, wow, this diagram is so damn complex. I don't know where to start. Probably is this one. Probably this inheritance. This inheritance. This inherit this one, and then I don't know what. I don't know what. This is this relationship. Wow, so complex. Okay. Luckily, although the diagram is very complex, right? We only need to look at these three items only. Okay, three only. Don't to panic. Okay, don't to panic. Don't to panic. There are three only we need to look at. The first one is our file input stream. Our file input stream. Second thing is our input stream reader, and third one is buffer reader. In case if you want to know what is this error mean, this means our file input stream is inherit our input stream. Okay? And then our input stream reader got a, let me think, what is this called? It's a composition. It's a composition relationship. Extra knowledge only, you don't need to know what is composition. Just to tell you, like, if you want to know what is the meaning. That means this input stream reader is opening a input stream, whatever. Okay, just extra knowledge only. You only need to know these three items. Okay, take home message is you need to know these three items. Okay, they are like the best friend in our file. Okay, file, best friend. To be honest, the slide put in your lecture slide is a bit old. The proper way to do a file, right? Proper way. Okay, the proper way to do a file is not like this, not like this. We actually need to use a try with resolve just for the sake of your mark lah. Okay, for your mark, just follow. Okay, and your lecture slide specify it. Okay, your lecture slide already say do not use file reader and do not use file writer. Okay, do not use file reader. Do not use file writer. Although it's more convenient. Okay, although it's more convenient, we are not using them. Okay, we are not using them. Okay, so please don't go and look up weird programming website that teach you file reader. Then you go and use it because you didn't attend lecture class. GGWP. Cannot save you, cannot save you. I hope hope you attend lecture class. Hope you listen. At least read the lecture slide by yourself, okay? So that you know this information. Your lecture slide already tell you do not use the file reader. Do not use the file rewriter also, although it's more convenient, okay? Do not use it now, okay? No, no, no. Please don't. You know, a lot of students studies, a lot of students would learn from some YouTube tutorial or some programming website. And then those tutorial teach them to use this or teach them to use that. And then it didn't match our Java coding standard. What happened to them is then they lost out because our lecture style already say, well, you cannot use it, but still go and use. Yeah, cannot save you lah. If you go and use, obviously the lecturer know lah. You didn't go and attend class, you didn't read the lecture slide. Problem, big problem. That's why sometimes I feel very headache. Sometimes I feel very headache. Some student is they think they know about, they study a lot of programming website already. They think they are expert already. Then they then come to class. Cannot help them. That is the only thing I want to share with you. Okay, just don't use it. Don't use it. Okay. Now let's go and roughly look at what is this buffer reader. Okay, buffer reader. This thing, the third one, buffer reader. Let's go and look at what is a buffer reader. Our buffer reader, right, will read a chunk of data, okay, and store it to the memory. In particularly, right, the read line. If you don't know what is a read line, it's this one. This buffer reader read line, okay. Our buffer reader got a method got a method called as read line, okay. Buffer reader got a method called as read line, okay. Okay, read line. Our buffer reader, right, read line, right, would look for the end of the line, okay? End of the line meaning this slash n character, okay? Slash n. New line, okay? It will look for this new line character. When this new line character, right, then it will stop, okay? And not stop. Pause, I don't know how to say. It will pause after you read a slash n return you the data. Our RAM is very fast, okay? Faster than our disk. That's why it's much efficient to read it in a chunk, okay? That's why our buffer reader is reading it in a chunk. That's why we teach you use a buffer reader, okay? Buffer reader, so make sure you use a buffer reader. When the line is found, then it will return. This is about the read line, this is about the read line. Our read line will read the slash n, okay? Find the slash n first. Later I will go and further explore you what is a slash n. Later. Just take in the information first, okay? After that, when you call a read line, it will read the next chunk, okay, whatever. Let's go and look at the example, okay? Look at the example, maybe you have a better idea. Okay, in your CSV file, right, stands for comma separated value, okay? I'm not joking. The name is exactly comma, okay? Comma separated value, okay? CSV. Okay, CSV stands for comma separated value, okay? CSV. That's why the data is in the form of like this. I can tell you, a very precise summary what your assignment is doing is you need to read a line of CSV and store it to an object, okay? So you need an array of the object, okay? I tell you what I mean, Example, you have a sales, okay? Sales.java. This is the CSV, correct or not? You got a CSV. You need to read one line of data, okay? You need to read one line of data and store it to a class. This class is storing the month and then the sales number, okay? The sales number. Just for example, you look at here, let's see, if we look at this table, right, there is no information. But when we look at the diagram, we know this is the sales per region, okay? Sales per region. The sales per region of, let's say 34 is actually Africa, then 67 is Asia, and then 56 is Europe, okay? 56 is Europe, okay? So your job is you want to write a class, you need to write a class to store one line of information, okay? One line of information. That means, right, your sales.java, okay, your sales.java would have month, Africa, Asia, Europe, something like this, something like this. Remember our CSV is just now is something like this. So you need to extract the January to the month, and then 34 to Africa, 57 to Asia, and then 56 to Europe. Okay? Can get that? You get what I mean? You need to store it to an object. That's why you need an array. Okay, you need an array. I continue first. So example, if you have 7 items, right? If you have 7 items, you need to open a sales array of size of 7. You get what I mean?